I'm just gonna, yeah, I've just unmuted the mic, but we're still eating. Anyway, I'm back here with Rudi Rennkamel. He just did his 3-hour stream of the game because he had to come in for somebody else, which is actually kind of a good thing.
Oh yeah.
I see that as an absolute win. Now, I'm gonna need to somehow catch up to what he's done. I've been watching some of the stream, but it just looks way too good. I have no idea how I can even measure up to what he's done, and I'll show it up in a second for some of the people who haven't seen it yet. It actually looks really cool. And the idea of our streams is basically that I'm going to continue his park, and then possibly after me, Basso is going to continue the park as well. So we can really develop this into a full-grown custom zoo of our own, which you usually don't see on these streams because, yeah, basically they reset the park after every stream for every streamer. But since we know each other and we want to see what we can do with this, we're going to continue the park for each and every one of those. Yeah, I'm still not done. I'm eating my final bite here. Yeah, I can probably turn on the camera right now.
Just good to see.
How does this transition inward? Oh, that's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Alright. Let me just finish up our meal here. I haven't had lunch. What time is it even? Oh yeah, it's 1.
It's exactly 3.
So, here's the park, and there's some stuff missing here. There's a big gaping hole where there used to be some enclosures and shops. Well, I say enclosures, but they were really unfinished. And here's Rudi's build. God, I'm gonna try to do this. There we go. So Rudi built a giant indoor area for the lemurs, and it's absolutely amazing. It's something that I'm really excited to see because no one else has really tried it yet on this scale. I've heard that Best in Slot tried something similar, but just this whole glass dome with an entire biome inside it is something that we haven't really seen yet, and it's already looking absolutely amazing. I really love it. So we have a kind of jungle biome in here with the lemurs in it, and the guests can freely walk around and interact with the animals. And there are even climbing elements which Rudi built completely all by himself, just by putting different logs and different pieces together. And the lemurs will actually climb on these and use them to interact with the guests as well. So that is really cool. You can just see them walking on the paths here, playing with the toys that they have. And the lemurs seem to be enjoying it as well. The guests definitely like it, but the lemurs too. And as we can see here, we have some giant tortoises in here as well. Oh, they're starving.
Oh.
What are you doing?
I don't know what happened. But they should have food, like there are a million keepers around.
Right. Well, let's see. Nourishment requires a keeper.
Okay, like we can put down even more keepers then.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put in a few extra keepers then. Perhaps they didn't refill the food on time. I see. I don't know. That's a food enrichment item though. Well, we can only place these on paths, but here we go. Let's add some keepers before that goes wrong. But yeah, it seems like everything is going fine so far. And yeah, this is definitely the coolest build that I've seen in all of the streams. It's really awesome.
Thank you.
Most of the streams have just been playing through the game and trying to discover what's in there, but really trying to see how you can build stuff. It's really cool. So I'm gonna try to do my best to measure up to this as well. But I have no idea how successful that is going to be. I can give you a bit of a spoiler. What's going on here? All right, I'm sure that'll be fine. I can give you a bit of a spoiler. If we go to the animal trading center here, I should.
You go to
they're
all.
Yeah, these guys are all in here. Oh, I don't see them.
Have you purchased?
I did purchase them. Uh-oh.
Don't worry, it will come back.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get that back. Anyway, I was planning to build a Bengali tiger exhibit, and I thought I purchased the tiger, but apparently I didn't. But hopefully we can just build it, and then hopefully by the time we are somewhat done, there will be some tigers in the trading center as well, because you're pretty much at the mercy of the trading center depending on what animals are available in other zoos or rescued from the wild or breeding programs, etc. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So yeah, I do want to build something with buildings, especially given that Rudi has continued this very cool looking symmetrical, symmetrical layout of the park with the entrance building, very classical, and the train station, and finally the giant glass dome. So I would like to continue something like that. But I have to say, I haven't really played around with the building elements that much. I've given them a quick overview before, but everything that I'm going to do here is just going to be completely on the spot. So just as a warning, this is probably not going to be that good. But still, I want to have a quick look at all of these items and see what would be best to use here. A lot of this is very much limited to the classical English set of the scenery type that this map starts out with, which in the final beta I'm quite sure there will be much more scenery available, but this is really just limited to what's in this scenario, in this build right now. I'm not going to be doing too many spires here, so
Jungle Boulevard is also kind of a cool idea.
That's a really cool idea, yeah.
That's insane. Yeah.
Technically, you could make a floating island, a floating zoo, where every exhibit is a separate floating island.
Oh, like the Avatar Zoo.
Yeah.
The Pandora Zoo, I should say. Pandora Zoo. Oh, and then you have like vines connecting them, and only the animals can climb it.
Oh yeah,
my
yeah.
God. Ideas popping in.
yeah. Anyway, let's check in. We have so many messages, so there might be something really wrong. We know that's... Wait, these guys have escaped? When did that happen?
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
It's all fine. You see them as like a
just...
maybe just to explain, the enclosure is built, like the big dome is built with invisible walls, and some of the rocks are overhanging. So as soon as they climb over the rocks, the game thinks they are escaped, but technically they are not.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Maybe we should just fix. Oh yeah, you don't care about that.
Yeah, I don't mind it too much, but basically the issue area is over here.
Yeah.
There's this enclosure wall which sticks out from the actual wall, but then the lemurs can actually climb on here and rest over here, which as you can see, they're doing. Never mind. We're gonna need to build some graves for these guys. What's going wrong here actually? That's something to check.
I think we might just try to close this area off so that they're not going to go over here. I didn't know
right.
ostriches.
Yeah, so one of the ostriches is actually injured, so...
But just don't spend too much time on it because...
Yeah, but I still wanna check it out.
Oh, they are just in there. So
they're already in the vet, so that's fine. But I do want to check on the lemurs, because the fact that we have 2 dead lemurs lying around just in the dome, that's not a good thing.
I think they also get no food. Maybe it's because they're all in the box the whole time.
In transit, animal escaped, so that one's just sleeping on the rocks. You don't get to see which are diseased. It seems like most of them are honestly fine.
Yeah. I think maybe because they kept being in the box too long.
Could be, yeah. Actually, that might very well be it. I'm not entirely sure. Because if none of the other, well, their nutrition, yeah, that seems to be alright. Just some more food enrichment.
And it seems not to work in this alpha because I couldn't find a suitable enrichment item for those animals.
Oh, right. Okay, so that's something. Yeah, they're climbing on the vines. That's really cool. I'm trying to click you. Can you stop moving? Social issues. Okay, so
yeah,
that's probably due to the people being around.
But they can hide away now, and then they'll be fine again. So.
Exactly. And then again, food enrichment. I could try maybe putting in a different food enrichment item. Let's see. Enrichment items.
Aliyah just said glass got dirty. Wait, she was like...
Really? How do you clean the windows at the top of the building? Okay, that's something that we'll look into in a second. For now, here's the ring tilt. Yeah, you're right. I'm just gonna put some more slow feeders and we'll see if that makes a difference. Probably not. Yeah, they'll definitely not be able to eat anything from that. Or that. I guess the slow feeder is the only thing that could possibly work. I'm just gonna put it in there. So, does the glass really get dirty? Because it seems to be doing alright. I don't think anything on these textures really seems to change. Looks about
maybe just on the small exhibits because we have seen them cleaning them off.
The rain cleans them. That would be awesome. Yeah, I think you don't have to look after building parts. Although I also have to say that would be a bit too much of a good thing. I think.
True.
What else? I'm not going to build graves for these guys, I'm sorry. There are some other things that I'd rather spend time on here.
It doesn't matter. Just keep it on pause the whole time and that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So my idea was, and I'd be really happy to get some feedback on this as well. I need to get some animal ears actually. Do we have any?
What do we have?
Do we have any animal ears in this room?
Oh yeah, we have. You want a giraffe?
Alright, I'm a giraffe now.
I'm gonna go to the wolf and I'm gonna be
anyway, my idea was to build an exhibit with kind of a thematic style to it. And I was thinking about going for the tigers and building something related to their culture and nature of where they're from. Unfortunately, they're mostly from the Indian subcontinent generally, and we don't really have many scenery pieces that could fit for that look, I think. So that will be quite a struggle. That said, I had this idea to build something like the Hanging Gardens of Babylon and use that to hide away their shelters and also the backstage buildings for the staff to take care of the tigers. And I think it could be set up in such a way that it could also slightly cover the train tracks and just basically be this large thematic scenery piece at the end of this straight area coming from the entrance. And I'm not sure what you guys think of that. I'd be very down to have some constructive criticism and feedback and ideas. I think it would be really hard, yeah, considering the pieces, but I think it would be possible, honestly. I'm just gonna have to look through some of the pieces that we have, see what's recolorable. Yeah, see what's recolorable and see what we can work with. Wall decorations, yeah, as you can see, everything is quite limited at the moment. But I think with these kinds of pieces, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon have kind of a classical style to them. Yeah. And I think with pieces like this, you could definitely build all kinds of roof trims, decorations. Pillars will definitely be an issue here. Ooh, and some of these are grid pieces and some of them aren't, but even then, I think you can, quite easily actually stack them into each other and use them to create different kinds of shapes depending on what you want to go for. Actually, does that Z fight? No, that's fine. That's actually quite awesome. Use the red colored roof parts and maybe bamboo, etc. Yeah, that sounds good. Alright, so I'm just gonna take some time for myself. Well, not really for myself because I'm streaming, but I'm just gonna take some time to look at the available pieces, kind of consider what we can build things out of and what's possible. Architecture, we have definitely none of that. Brick pillars might be useful. Can you recolor these? That's the question. No, they are basically just red bricks. And these, same here. So this would be quite white, but I think it would be doable for the pillars. And then finally I have some wooden posts. Don't know if I'll be using those. Ooh, and we have different wooden planks as well. That's good. You can make it Chinese based on enclosure. With the Bengal tiger, possibly, I guess. But at the same time, I think, something like the Bhutan or Tibet area would actually be really cool. That's true. I'm just not sure if I can do that with these scenery pieces. That would be extremely difficult, I think. I really like these tone textures, but we don't really have a smaller pillar to work with when it comes to these. But I do think these could work very well. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a stone here and see what different pieces actually work with that. So these pillars are quite white, but I think it could work. We have arch pieces, lots of different decoration pieces for that. That might actually work. Yeah. Are there actually any recolorable pieces in the game yet? There are definitely some. And I don't know how many of these pieces will become recolorable or if they're going to stay as they are. But recolorability is definitely a thing, and I've noticed that a lot of the smaller pieces or single scenery items are definitely recolorable. So we'll come across some of those at some point for sure. Where was I with the other decorations at some point? Roofs and floors, doors and windows, definitely not in here. Might have been in roofs and floors, I'm not entirely sure. Oh no, wait, it's in roof trims, I think. Actually, no, that's not it either. Wall decorations, there we go. So yeah, this is quite bright, but I think it'll do. Hold up, what is that? What is that placement?
Oh,
That's really cool. Oh, so it's yeah, on the outside and inside. That's really useful. All right.
That's really, yeah, that's really close also.
I don't think we've seen decoration pieces in Planet Coaster do this.
No, not at all. It's cool.
And yeah, you can make
Really cool.
some kind of accents with these. This one doesn't have a grid. Yeah, this one doesn't snap to a grid. And this one does. I'll just put that under there, and then maybe, I don't know, just fooling around right now. Do something like that. Actually, that doesn't look too great, but I could probably do it like so, add a different piece underneath it. I really like that you can add a lot of variety with these different pieces.
Yeah, and I like how they snap to it, right? It's so easy
Yep.
to get some
Yeah, because I was looking for something like this, but you could easily just make it yourself.
Yeah,
And then copy it around.
true.
And yeah, the textures definitely look amazing. And we can even add some decorations like these on there. Let me see what the snapping is like here. I don't want to have position snap, but I do want to have it like the surface. And yeah, some of these could be placed on top of that as well. We'll see how that works. I think actually a slightly more narrow one, or sinking it into the wall, might be a bit better. Yeah, something like that. We can start playing with that. And then we also have the balustrades, which I think I'm going to want to have on pretty much every floor. It wasn't responding, but here we go.
Maybe you want to put the game on pause. I just want to quickly mention that.
That's a really good point.
Because I just see you keeping animals.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
These are our animals, but
Another one of the turtles is starving.
yeah, well,
Just going to quickly check that out before I go back into the building. Yeah, so what's with the nutrition?
I don't know why they can't get any food in. To be honest, I don't know. Just put down some more food boxes, I guess.
Yeah, but you need the keepers to actually put the food in there, right?
Yeah. I do have like 6 keepers only watching at this one. Oh no, this is because I put the wrong food sources down.
Oh.
That's my mistake there.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, well,
So at least we can easily fix that, right? I don't know where my thing has appeared actually. Oh, there we go.
Just put a second one in the middle and
down
on
there.
the other side so we have
Yeah. And I don't know how far the turtles can really reach. I don't think they'll be quite up here. I think I'll put one in here. Just to save the turtles real quick.
Yeah.
And
Save the turtles. It's so good to save the turtles. It's always important.
yeah, yeah. I think that should just about do it. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna add a small one somewhere, just in case, to get a good coverage.
Right, and then
There
you
you
can also just unlock these animals down there.
Yeah.
The boxes, and then it's fine. Okay, great.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to do a Chinese or kind of like Himalayan,
Yeah.
Bhutan
Himalayan is
or
awesome, I love it.
Tibet kind of look, but I think that's out of the question with these pieces. But I think something Babylonian is decently doable. Although I have to say, I still need to, like, these pieces fit together quite well. Now if we have the balustrades on it,
Yeah.
I think that'll really work. But I'm not quite sure about the pillars. It's still going to be quite difficult. So
I like them, to be
just
honest.
in case. Yeah, I'm just going to see to what extent the colors of the pillars really fit into the other pieces. Okay, so we have what color pillars did they use for these? I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's the same pieces, isn't it? Limestone pillar base, limestone column. Oh, and they have caps as well. I didn't know that. Because really, that's something that I kind of feel this building is missing. Of course, you find buildings without caps, but honestly.
Silv is fixing the architecture while everyone else is
like-
fixing the animals.
Anyway. Yeah, I think I'm just going to use the same columns for... Oh, this one looks
This
slightly...
one looks good.
It
Yeah.
looks slightly dark. I don't think that'll be able to carry the weight of all the hanging gardens because they'll
True,
be
but
quite heavy. And I think I'm going to go with this one. However, there might be some planters somewhere in the game that could work with that. So here we have a cap. We just have that cap for square pillars, and then we have a base. I could probably use these bases, and ooh, those are quite large actually. But yeah, we'll see if we can use those. Yeah, those are not the best. I'm gonna go into, I don't know exactly where it is. Centerpieces might have some other things that might work. You could use that as a base actually. What else do we have? Ooh, that's quite girthy. Yeah, it's not too many pieces in here, so I think it'll be difficult. But what you definitely can do is do that thing where you have bases with vases on top of them and those all around the balustrades. I'm just looking for one little piece that could maybe fit in a little bit better on top of this. Let me just copy this over so we can have a bit of a look of how this would work in the end. Just gonna redo the pillar here. While just experimenting with what pieces can work together here before I start building the actual real thing. Let's see, so these pillars probably go quite well.
The mic could be louder, they say. Maybe you just put it a bit closer. It's just so loud in here. I think
yeah, how does this volume button work?
I don't know, maybe just...
I'm slightly moving the volume button. Can anybody tell if my voice is getting slightly louder? That would be amazing.
If not, the sound guy is coming to help us.
Yeah, he's been watching the whole time.
He's awesome.
In general, yeah, they're absolutely amazing. Yeah, these are quite big actually. I would kind of like to see some slightly smaller elements. I'm just going to keep searching and see if there's anything else that we can use here.
Nothing changed. Yeah, I think they are set just to be very sensitive to us because it's so loud. It doesn't really change too much because you guys would then only hear them cheering over there.
Yeah, that's also true. They're definitely making a lot of noise behind us as well.
Oh, this one.
If you're very cheeky, you could build that into a column cap.
That's true. Yeah.
You do see a small ring underneath it, but it kind of works. Could do. Or something like that. It's just a small decoration.
So yeah.
That's definitely too big, but it's cool to have all of these fountain elements. Definitely really nice.
This is good. This is like a top piece. Very nice top piece. Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's definitely useful. Yeah, sorry Frontier, we're already using pieces in ways that they're not supposed to be used as.
Yeah, but chat says they can understand us, so that's fine.
Oh, okay, alright, thank you. This one is slightly, no, it's just about the same size as that piece, isn't it? Yeah. I think it might actually look a bit better. If you take that and then combine it with one of the pillars underneath here, that might actually work. If you combine that with this, I guess you could go for that. Yeah, alright. So let's get rid of this whole shebang and start building an actual enclosure. So what I also want to try is in a lot of real zoos, you'll see something of a ditch around the perimeter of the habitat.
Yeah.
So you won't really have a big fence. And I would like to try something like that and see if it's doable at all. So.
Well, actually, you can just, you can actually, because I don't know, swim. Actually, the Bengal tiger swims.
Yeah, that is true. So it has to be, I think, so the way that I think it would make sense is to have an empty ditch with no water in it. But then it would make a very tall wall. So for the guest side, you'll have a very low fence.
Yeah.
But then on the side of the tigers, the fence will be very tall. Might even need an anti-climbing thing on that, but I'm pretty sure that won't be too necessary. Though I think Bengal tigers can probably climb a bit better than people expect.
True.
And also, if anybody really has an urgent comment that they want me to consider, just shout it out in the comments and I'll get to it. There are also still some requests that people gave to me on Discord and Twitter that I might want to get to. So yeah, preferably I'd love to have some of a round sort of shape around here where you see the enclosure and then a ditch and then sort of an island with the gardens behind it.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
The train going over it. Alright, so what path do we want to use here? I don't think I want to switch up the path, so I think I'm just going to keep going with this path, but it might be cool to see if... Do we have different paths in the park? Not really, right? No. There are definitely some different paths, but all the main paths have the same texture. I kind of think that's a shame, actually. I would always like to differentiate a bit between different areas with path textures, so I'm just gonna...
Maybe we're gonna get some
use a slightly different one. Perhaps, yeah, and some of the later updates. I think we saw that quite a bit in Planet Coaster as well. We started off with a very limited amount of path textures.
It's true, people keep forgetting about that. That there were so many added due to studios and stuff,
yeah. This could actually be a bit bigger. I'm just gonna remove some of these paths and make this a bit wider because I don't want to have too much of a circular shape to this. And I need to keep track of the time as well because I basically only have an hour and a half right now.
Yeah, but maybe a little bit more because Baso, as she told me, is maybe streaming again in the other booth, so we might just not be able to let her catch up, but we might have more time then because of the different schedule, so I think that could work.
Right, yeah.
I mean, we don't complain about more time, right, do we?
Oh no, surely we don't. Actually, I didn't notice that there was terraforming around here, but we have a small hill going and I want it to be flat. I'm definitely going to terraform this whole area, but I want it to be flat for the time being, so let's see. Let's fix all this. Oh, okay, that actually starts looking really bad. I'm going to need to consider how this transitions into other areas. If anything, I should probably actually raise this a bit and then have a slight transition into this area.
That's so true, actually.
So the enclosure could be over here. You should try and check the trading center periodically. That's a really good point. Let's see if we have any tigers at the moment.
Well, the game is on pause, so
I
think...
But I haven't checked it in a long time anyway, so we could, but no. Never mind. But I think it makes sense that like some of the charismatic big animals are lacking usually from the animal trading center because they'll be much rarer to get as a zoo as well in real life. Charismatic megafauna, I think they call it.
So people kept asking if my stream is online already. I just figured that YouTube has some serious issues at the moment processing my stream. It was quite long though, so it might take some more minutes.
So yeah, it's quite a wide path because I'm expecting tigers to be quite a popular exhibit for the zoo. Have you heard anything about ideas for future DLCs or anything? Nope. We honestly don't have a clue about that. Actually, that's not what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to smooth this out a bit. Actually, I have to say, for this demo build specifically, the terrain tools are still a bit laggy. So if you guys notice that, that's something that has to do with this build specifically and should be patched out once the beta comes out. Is that actually breeding and birth mechanics, or does it just like happen? There are some mechanics for sure, yeah. But I think usually if you just put males and females together, they eventually usually just get it on and you start getting babies. And you need to give them contraceptives to prevent this from happening if you don't want to have them having babies. But apparently the contraceptives don't work in this build either, so we still have a whole bunch of animals.
Maybe not for all of the animals, maybe for some. I think for the elephants or so it was fine.
Right.
But definitely not for the tortoises.
Okay, so where is this path at? How do I find the middle of this? 'Cause I don't have this matching up exactly. Oh well, that looks like it's about fine. Oof, I'm not really happy with that. I'm gonna need to smooth that out quite a bit more. Do you know any animals that will be in the game but haven't been announced? I don't think we're allowed to comment on that.
Well, we only know what's being shown here. Like, we've seen the rhino, obviously, a little bit earlier when it was on the IGN screens, but it's announced by now, so...
That is true.
We probably don't know that much more as you guys. Maybe, as we figured yesterday, sometimes even less, because you guys get the info from everywhere.
Exactly.
And we were like, all of a sudden, wait, there is this and this, and I was like, oh, we even didn't know because it's not in that build. Yeah,
we're missing out on some of the announcement ourselves, definitely. But in any case, we definitely know some things that we're not allowed to say, but generally speaking, we don't know much. I should say that much. That is not going to be ADA approved for wheelchair people, but I'm just going to go forward with it. I'm sorry, everybody who's in a wheelchair. I swear I tried to make this zoo inclusive, but I just don't have the time to bother. Okay, I want to get this. Oof. I think that should be able to make this a bit. Yeah, there we go.
Now you got it. Yeah.
That's just a trick from the Planet Coaster days that.
I just love that they just kept it, just completely ignored on the fact that it was always meant to be a bug.
I'm not sure if this is a feature, but I'm sure this is the kind of thing that they didn't think about. Then in hindsight, they were like, oh yeah, that's a feature.
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly. We wanted to have it like exactly that way.
Yeah. I do want this to be a bit smoother though. Yeah, that'll do. There we go. And then I do need to hook up some of the other parts as well. Yeah, this enclosure itself is not going to be the most beautiful thing in the world, but I'm trying my best within the given time limit that I have, and just, I mean, this is going to be my first actual proper enclosure in the game, so.
True, yeah.
In advance, I already apologize if this doesn't turn out to be much good.
You're going for the ditch now.
Yep. Yeah, I'm just going to lay out the general terrain of the habitat, and then I'll start adding the building once that's done.
Oh, I love that idea. You can even go with the null fence here, and then just put a little wall on top, and that's it.
Ooh, yeah, right. Although I think it should be good to add just the simple enclosure fence on top of the ditch then. Yeah, so the ditch isn't looking too great because it's completely unsmooth, but the idea is that I'll be covering up all of that with some kind of wall, some kind of large fence. And in a perfect world where I had a lot of time, I would have actually loved to make like some smaller paths as well that kind of meander around here where you can go up a bit and have a specific viewing area, but in this case I'm just going to keep it quite general, like a path around it.
But yeah, that's exactly how you see that in the zoos, yeah.
Yeah, it was also interesting, when I was in the Prague Zoo, they had actually an exhibit very similar like this for the lions, which is quite round, and really just had a glass wall with a ditch in front of it. But what's also interesting is that the glass has these little dots on them to prevent birds from flying into
Ah, right.
it.
True. Yeah, absolutely true, yeah.
It's actually quite cool. Oh god, I kind of messed up on, the terraforming over here, but it's a quick build. I'm sorry, I'm gonna cut some corners here and there. So let's see if we can fit a habitat wall on top of this.
Wow, Joel, that's insane.
Wow.
He's just looking like a lion.
That looks really cool. Joel's one of the people helping out here, and of course a long-time member of the Planet Coaster community, and he just passed by here in full lion costume.
That's so good.
Well, not costume, but face paint. But yeah, really good. Yeah, actually, it is a good idea probably to make it simple, to try and see how we can make this transition. So I'm gonna, I don't know, would chain link be enough, or do I really need electric fences?
I don't think you need electric lines.
I don't know. Well, I could also go with something stone or something. But I'm just going to try electric, just to be on the safe side. I definitely don't want lions escaping anytime soon. Could always adjust that at some point in the future. And then I'll be... Oh yeah, of course it's terrain, so I can't just easily clip into that. But...
Oh, you can actually do it that way, it's fine, because...
Yeah, and then put a different wall on top of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think if I just do it with the habitat outline like this, it should be fine as well. Although, then you might get the thing where it gives you the message that they've escaped. So I'm going to try to keep this as close to the edge as possible, and then...
Just pretend it's that
I'll build some wall over it at some point.
You can actually also smooth the terrain in a bit more.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think I'll have a bit of an overhanging wall or something. You know, you could even have an overhanging path that slightly overhangs over the ditch and gives people a real viewing platform.
Like it's in the trailer, right? In the pre-made
Oh
trailer.
yeah, good point.
They had that.
Yeah, I remember that as well, because that was one of the first screenshots that kind of teased the idea of habitat outlines rather than just simple barriers everywhere. Wait, I've been building an electric fence the whole time. Never mind. I'm just going to see if I can cover that, yeah. And then at some point it's just going to have to go behind buildings, and I'm going to hide the rest of the fence inside in here somewhere. There could be an employee door, some sort of entrance. and this is all going to be covered by the building eventually, hopefully, if all goes right, because I'm under a pretty strict time constraint here. Yeah, let's finish off the walls. Oh, okay, yeah, sure, you can already connect that. So this is going to be the size of the habitat. I think that's very fair. Let's see if we can already trade some Bengal lions, because that would be...
Yeah,
the tigers, I mean, nice.
Just buy it?
So yeah,
Save.
buy it.
Damn.
And then view in trade center, right?
We would have sent this, it's way down there.
Yeah, there we go. Now, I don't think we'll have another Bengal tiger already, but I'm just gonna check just in case. Electric fence and water. That's a good point. I'm gonna work on that. That's a really good point. Oops. So I'm gonna have to edit all of these barriers here. So at least the one that goes into the water here, I'm gonna change that into stone.
Actually, this kind of stone stuff is really cool. Down there, you don't even need to
yeah,
change
I really
the
like
texture
it.
too much.
And actually over here I should probably do the same, because this is on the side of the path. So it's really only on the back that I don't need a fancy fence.
Yeah.
That was not on purpose, I swear. What's this? So I need to change all of these into habitat outlines. I also just want to quickly shout out again that in the final build you'll be able to drag this whole thing and create and switch between different fence styles at once, but in this build it's not working yet, so that's why I'm doing these all separately. But in the final build it should be a lot easier to do this.
Exactly.
Does the fence type work into gameplay? That's actually something...
Well, it does.
Yeah, does it?
Yeah, sure, because if you have a fence type that is like
Oh,
transparent,
yeah.
the animals get stressed if it's
Oh,
not.
yeah, good point.
You know? Energy is sucking energy, while glass isn't.
Yeah.
But glass is getting dirty, while stone isn't. So
Yeah.
there are quite a few things that you have to consider about your fences.
Yeah. And some of them they can climb over, and some of them they can't.
Exactly.
So the lemurs, for instance, have a wooden barrier that they can climb over, which has an anti-climbing device on top of it. But then they also have concrete barriers, or no, the glass barriers, which are completely smooth. So then you don't need that cover.
But you have to make them high enough so they can jump it.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good mechanic. It's really good.
So yeah, we could actually add some water in here, because I think, being Bengal tigers, they do like swimming.
Dude, that looks good already. It looks so good.
Alright. And then I need to find some way to make this into a decent looking wall, and we'll see how that works. Ooh, but something to keep in mind, I think you can't terraform while there's already water. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So that's something to do with the volumetric water. So yeah, that's different from Planet Coaster, where you can just keep building. But
because it's just a texture.
yeah, it's a trade-off, but it's definitely
a good one.
Yeah, it's worth it, I think. So I'm just gonna make this a little bit larger. So I'm gonna have to smooth the heck out of this before the water's in there. So otherwise it's gonna look a bit weird. You waved at Silva, I sat in the booth. We're kind of in a hurry. Well, I hope I waved back actually, because I always try to wave back at people just in case. But there are a lot of people right in front of us passing by, so sometimes it's difficult to keep track. Yeah, let's actually smooth that out a bit. Certain fences might last longer. Yeah, that's also a really good point, especially if you have strong animals that you don't want escaping. You definitely, it seems like you really need to use the stronger fences.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense.
Actually, also fences wear out over time, so if they are not maintained, glass is going to break quicker.
Yeah. So you always need some mechanics to keep track of how things are going. Ooh, I'm actually gonna have to repaint some of that at some point, but
it's cool.
Yeah. It's a bit low though.
If you want to do quick painting, you just put water everywhere and then just redo it. You have to quick paint it. That's so good.
So you can't raise terrain either. No. Although this is an easy way to build a structure like that, I suppose. Yeah, I think I do want to have a slight hill in the middle actually. So
where they can lie
experiment
on.
a bit
And
with
then
that.
you can also put a bedding on there, and then they're like.
Yeah, exactly.
Likely to sleep there.
And I'm just gonna build a bit into this corner of the habitat. Yeah, it looks like that should be fine. It's not going to be the best terraforming ever, but Yeah, again, we're on a limited time schedule here.
True.
Yeah, and I really hope they stay in the habitat. I'm very curious to see if this actually works, if having this wall here is going to keep the tigers inside the habitat. So now I want to build some kind of wall section, and I'm not sure what pieces would be best for that, but I think actually I want to use the dry stone walls. Either the dry stone walls or some kind of log piece. I think actually a log piece would make more sense and would probably
there is
look
a
better.
log wall. There we go.
This one. And then if we have that overhanging the terrain enough, that should be fine. I'm actually very curious to see if we can do this in a similar way to Planet Coaster. So just gonna build it like this, and then put a fence on top of it for the guests.
Yeah.
Some kind of decoration. Do we have fence pieces that are not actual fences? Okay. Oh, not if I misspell the word fence. All right. But yeah, let's see. Okay, but we don't really have a wooden one, so that's something to keep in mind. Oh, this pillar looks interesting. I'm gonna look into that because that looks very usable. But we do have wooden logs, and if not logs, then we have because the logs are quite large. But I think you can build a fence out of this by yourself for sure. So I'm just gonna build a small fence on the side of this. And hopefully that'll keep the guests out of the habits.
And the wall's actually like a grid piece, isn't it? So you can easily copy it over.
Yep. Yeah, this log wall is a grid piece as well.
Good.
So I'm just gonna add this in here, make a quick custom little fence. Some people are smiling at us from outside.
Thumbs, yeah.
So I'm glad for all of the support that we're getting. Alright, let's see how this goes. Can tigers climb up wood? So using the wood would be a terrible idea. Well,
you can actually
here's an idea. What if we put it? Oh, very good point. Well, which animals have escaped this time around? It's the lemurs.
Yeah, it's always the lemurs.
It's always this. There's 30 animals that have escaped, but you can't really see which have escaped
specifically,
just escaped
right? Multiple times. There you go. Do you see that? Yeah. There you go. It's all the lemurs, and then just put back into the. Yeah. And then you have to open the boxes again, but I think we just don't care.
Right. Sure.
We just don't care about it.
We're just gonna ignore those guys for now. So, I do wonder to what extent you can make things unclimbable yourself. So, I'm gonna put some logs on this side of the wall to make sure that if they want to climb, they're gonna reach an obstacle here and probably not be able to continue any further. We also have different log pieces that are quite large, but these are really good to place down into the ground. That's actually something that I want to try later on. And then there's a wooden post as well that I could probably use as support for this. Do I want 2 or 1? Yeah, it's probably 2 should be good. So just real quick, I'm gonna put a post underneath this, support this. And then this is gonna be a bit of a time-consuming job, but I want to copy this around, see if the 3D gizmo works quite well with the self-made pieces. Yeah, there we go. That's all right. And now I'm just going to want to connect all of these pieces together until they form a coherent whole. I messed up a bit on the placement of the wooden post on top of the fence actually, so I'm going to need to readjust all of these a bit. But I think on the whole that makes sense. Yeah, red pandas definitely don't look like giant pandas. I could actually keep some of these straight, probably. Maybe it's just me, but I have to say, and I'm not just saying this for the sake of saying this, but I have to say this feels a bit smoother than it does on Planet Coaster, but maybe it's just that my own PC has really bad performance.
You mean the building itself?
No, just moving stuff around with the gizmo.
Yeah, but I have the same feeling, yeah. And I must admit, guys, that like what I built is not intended to be built in an alpha build. And it just handled it completely well. There was no issue at all whatsoever. I mean, the whole building has like 2,000 pieces or whatever, so it's super good.
And a lot of them glass as well, which I remember they were quite concerned about with Planet Coaster. But I think in the end, that's actually fine.
Yeah. Elder Bay, please put everything in what you have taken with the screenshots. And we always want to see that because we want to see how embarrassed we look on the stream.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, and I'm sorry if this is a bit boring, but really that's just what building is like. This is why normally my videos are in time-lapse formats, so I can really concentrate, think about what I want to build, and then in hindsight, comment on what I've done. So I'm actually gonna just copy over some of these and keep them straight. So as you can see, the terraforming is actually very edgy and a bit jank, but that's really just what happens right around paths if you smooth or move the terrain around a lot. So if I wanted this terraforming to be the focus of the exhibit, I would have really just smoothed that out. Although, now I do need to think about what I'm going to do with this. I'm probably just going to put a lot of bushes in there or something to hide the transition. I could have probably put a piece next to the fence, but I forgot about that, so that's my bad actually. Actually, come think of that, I do want to remove some of these and put in a little pathway. Maybe I shouldn't remove all of them, but just do it like so, and then add a small elevated path. People wanted me to show the elevated paths anyway, so it'll be a good thing to show that off. So yeah, we're currently at what heights should this be?
Maybe it's too close to the water.
Oh, terrain is too uneven for path, it says.
What you could do potentially, as I just did floating, if you hold down control, then you can connect it like, just go to the height of the, no, wait a second, try to connect to the path again. There you go, now hold down control and just move it over, so it should be the same height though.
No, it doesn't. Actually, yeah, you're right. But then it'll still be difficult to connect this to the, yeah, I don't think we'll be able to do that. Oh, and actually it's much higher. Look at those pillars.
Oh wow.
Those are new.
Those are
That's
so
really
new.
good.
I just thought, hey, did you connect them already? Like,
yeah, no.
Really good.
Actually, that's what the question was about. People were wondering whether all the paths still have the same concrete pillars as in Planet Coaster, because people got a bit tired of those, to be honest. But yeah, these look really nice.
I mean, you could just delete that big piece of path there and just try to redo it, but
yeah, maybe. But even then, that would be quite difficult.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can.
Oh no, you can just go and flatten out the terrain, I guess. Maybe just flatten a little hill.
Which over here?
Yeah, just go to the flatten tool. Like that. Yeah, there you go. And just flatten it from over here.
Yeah, but then
not entirely, just a little bit.
It's gonna clip. Yeah, I think it's. I'm not sure whether that's gonna work because I think the problem is the switch.
Yeah,
it's the switch to the yeah. So actually, yeah, I would rather want to have this lookout, and since it's a bit more difficult to build a raised path, I'm just gonna build this raised first, and then I'll come back and add the more indoor section later. Oh, this is snapping to something, but I have no idea what it's snapping to.
Maybe to the fence? Like, does it kind of...
Maybe.
It is. It definitely is to the fence.
Huh, let's try that again. It's snapping to the barriers of the enclosure. That makes sense, yeah. That's actually really handy. No, I don't think so. And in my case, it also doesn't want to go through the barriers here, actually. That's the issue. There's a barrier, of course, so I can't have the path go into the middle of this because there's a barrier here.
Oh, you might just
I would need to have a gate for that, I think. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, that's I think the problem. I think it's too close to the barrier, and they don't allow it to do that. That actually makes a lot of sense. Okay, so I'm just gonna forget that I ever wanted to try this. I'm just gonna keep the wall like this. What else do we have in here? Yeah. So I'm gonna keep on building this. We'll just keep the wall like this, and I'll fill in the gaps probably with some shrubbery or something like that to make it look a bit better. I'm sure there might be some ways to have paths overhang into the exhibits. I think I've seen some.
I guess if you go with like invisible walls, you are definitely able to build paths through there.
Yeah.
And then.
But yeah, again, this is my first attempt trying something even like this. And I don't know to what extent Frontier wants us to do this. I have to say, we're trying to just break the game here and see what the creative limits are.
It's what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
We always do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was a bit too low maybe, because I did notice that like if I went higher, I could place the path above the barrier. So how exactly to do this? Something to look into later. You could always just make it out of scenery, but then guests won't be able to use it.
True, but we do want to use it.
Yeah. It looks decent from this side. I'm just gonna have to cover it with. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to cover it with some shrubs at some point. All right, so I think I want to start working on. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna build a little bit of the habitat already.
I think you might want to even put the tiger in already, so you know what kind of stuff you need.
Ooh, that's a good point. Yeah, but I think I'm first gonna build the building because I don't know to what extent that's gonna be in the way of things. But a Bengal tiger definitely needs some sort of a jungle-ish biome. So I'm trying to go for, well, just adding some of the different textures and just making sure that it's not completely just grass, but adding some variation into the ground textures as well. The sand actually doesn't mix too well with some of the other textures. In a way, that's actually really good because you can see that it's really scattering. But yeah.
I'm just gonna quickly open the door. We're gonna have a guest.
Yeah. All right. Oh, we have a guest?
Yeah, you know that one.
I honestly had no idea. Oh, hello.
Very good afternoon.
This is DeLadysigner, everybody.
Okay, yeah, sure.
You got the ear switch.
Oh, yeah. Isn't the giraffe in there?
Actually, I think
Oh, it's a.
I'm gonna do it the other way around. Have some of this over here, some more grass here. What is this? This is rock, isn't it? Yeah, like that. Okay, I'm still gonna have to learn how these textures mix well. That's something that I'm not entirely sure of yet. But yeah.
What are you doing? Because I have missed everything of your story.
All right, so I'm building a tiger exhibit here, and my idea was to have like a ditch like this right next to the path, so that if you're on the path, you only have this very low fence, and you have a good view of the tigers.
Did you create that with the piece by piece?
Yeah, that's all just
nice.
a building copied around with some water in it, and yeah, then we'll have the exhibit here in the middle, and a small little hill where they could sit on and where we could like show it. And I want to try something in the back, try building a building where they can relax and be away from the guests, and also where the staff can do their thing.
Is there an invisible fence or anything? What is that line?
This is actually an electric fence.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you couldn't see it from that far away.
But I have to say, I've just been building stuff, and Rudi and I have just been exploring a lot of the building elements in the game, so this is not going to be a very fast-paced stream per se. But
what are you gonna try with, like some kind of shelter or something? Or
yeah.
Like,
so
rocks
my
or
idea
caves?
was, do you know the Hanging Gardens of Babylon? It's this ancient structure which has, it's sort of it's not, the gardens are not really hanging, but it's a building with a lot of trees on it, and they call them the Hanging Gardens because you get all of these vines and flowers and trees overhanging this building, and I think it would be cool to build a small building like that here with all of this foliage on it, which will make for the very jungle-looking environment that the Bengal tigers live in. So yeah, that was my idea. I have no idea how well it's going to work.
I love the water, how you did that. Like, it works.
Thank you.
The terrain going really high.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. And you can put down some logs and stuff in the water too.
Oh yeah, that's a
Fallen
really
logs.
good point.
We already have those, I think so.
I have no idea. I think we have some large logs, and definitely one log piece that you can scatter around.
Hello, Captain. Hello, Sean. Steve Codridge,
Oh, yeah.
I was actually hoping it would have been cooler today inside of here because they use like ice cubes in the air conditioning, but no.
It's insane.
It's
I am
still as hot.
extremely sweaty right now.
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh, yeah. Somebody just knocked on the windows. I don't know if you guys could hear it, but
Bo is standing
Bo,
outside, and she is like seriously really mad if people are standing here like, no, go away, leave them alone.
Yeah. Bo is a hero out there and stopping all of those people. Actually, you don't want to have a mad Bo after you.
Not annoying people that are like banging on the walls
Yeah.
and windows.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating.
Yeah, just some rock work around here. I've no idea exactly how this should look. If there, and yeah, Bo is definitely being our bodyguard here. You don't want to mess with her.
I even wasn't allowed to stand in the window, so I was like, oh, then I'm going inside.
But yeah, if anybody has any ideas, just keep throwing them in the chats.
Yeah,
I'm
do
open
it.
for
Hello,
any
Harry.
suggestions.
Hello, useless. Useless Alaya.
Like that.
Hello, Potter Penguin. Hello, Harvey. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Carlo. Oh my god, so many hellos. Guys, you're amazing.
And let's check out the rainforest biome. I really thought there weren't enough trees in here.
Oh, actually, I just found out that Rennkamel is going to stream less than 1.5 hours, so I might have 1 extra hour.
Wait, is he streaming in this booth?
No, in the other one.
Right.
And I'm streaming right after him. So
Oh,
I
nice.
could be doing a Dutch stream on my Dutch channel before.
That would be really cool. I'd
Yeah.
actually be down to join that.
Would you,
That'd be nice.
would you join me in a Dutch one? I have no idea how many people would come. Like, it's never.
I
nowhere
mean,
announced.
people always wanted to hear me speak Dutch, and I refuse to do it. But if it's on your channel, then sure.
On my Dutch channel, so we should be safe.
Yeah.
But that was fun. Okay, so probably around, what time did I start? 5 p.m. So that would be around 4 p.m. 15.
Yeah, I guess
15?
so.
4:15.
Sorry, I'm just scrolling through every single tree in the game because I just want to have an idea of what's here, what would look best. I'm trying to look for something that would look nice but also doesn't obscure the back of the enclosure. And also, you want to have trees, yeah, those are really nice. You want to have trees that could realistically fit in the climate that the park is in as well, I suppose.
You can select that, right? You can select up to the biomes.
Yep,
Okay.
yeah. But it's like, I've selected the rainforest biome, but I don't want to add trees that like would never survive in the English climate that this park is in.
True.
Kind of want to find a balance there, I think.
Hi, Potter Penguin. Your voice sounds the same as Lukoshi's voice. It says skirt. Skirt.
All right, sure. Maybe it's just the fact that they're both. Is actually, who is Lukoshi?
Lukoshi.
Yeah.
He's in my Discord. He made a lot of stuff for the Zoo Tycoon 2 pack.
Right.
No, yeah, Zoo Tycoon 2 mods.
So is he Dutch as well,
Yeah.
or right?
Luke. He's called Luke.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I've been
Is
looking around
Lukoshi in
trees
the chat?
for too
I don't
long.
think he is.
What was that other tree that I had once found? God, I've already lost track of what everything is.
So Brett,
Sorry
maybe
guys.
you should unpause the game because otherwise you won't have a chance to get a tiger from the trading center.
That's a
Very
good point.
Dan.
I think, though, that... Oh yeah, this is the one that I want. Yeah, this looks really good.
I like that one, yeah. The rocks are so nice.
The game is a bit laggy at the moment.
That's
Not sure
because
where that
of
comes from.
Rudi's enclosure.
Yeah,
Habitat.
that definitely did help, didn't it? But yeah, actually, when I put it on pause, it runs much better. So I'm gonna keep that. I have one tiger actually at the moment in the trading center, so I think we should be fine in that regard.
Oh, you have one. Oh, that's
Yep.
good. Hi,
I'm
Russell.
just gonna put some trees around here to hide that.
I'm sorry, skirts.
God, there are too many questions. Could you keep track of the chat, please?
Yeah, I'm trying.
That's a good start, I think. Maybe a few palm trees just to set the mood.
Yeah, it's DeLadysigner. Thanks, Sean. The lady and L, if you want to see us streaming, Planet 2 in Dutch, like 45 minutes before my English stream starts. So that's really fun. I really like it. That Rennkamel's like, I don't think I'm gonna stream all my time. I'm like, yes!
Nice.
I'm gonna use your time. We want to say how lucky Frontier is to have you all. You're such awesome ambassadors for the game. Can't wait for you. So thank you, Ronald.
Ooh.
I'm like, I still can't believe. I feel so thankful that we're again here. Like,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
all the events,
same.
and it's so freaking amazing. Keep in mind after the release, we have the Conscience of Rat for Planet 2. Oh my god, it's so good. I'm gonna grab my phone. Okay.
All right. Yeah, so the Swiss cheese plant looks like a monstera. Is that just me? because I've never heard that name before. But yeah, all of the bushes and shrubs are absolutely amazing. I am gonna add some more temperate shrubs in here just for the ground shrubbery, because there's a lot more in there, and I think that'll be a good way to finish up this habitat. Oh, there's too much shrubbery. I hate it. I know I was always complaining that there's not enough in Planet Coaster, but this is gonna take ages to know exactly what everything looks like and
yeah,
when
I would
you
just
should use it.
randomly try and pick some stuff.
Yep, yep.
Well, so what time do you stream again? Till 3? So you still have an hour.
Yeah, I still have an hour.
Oh my god, it's good you don't look at this time because this one says 5 a.m.
Yeah, these computers are still on English time.
Oh wow.
Ooh, I love this little thing. You can just really put that anywhere you want.
So cute.
Kind of accent everything.
Oh, you're allowed. Hello, Chris.
That's Chris Sawyer right in front of us. Not the Chris Sawyer,
No,
but
the
we always
other.
have to explain this. But he's also an ambassador and he's helping out everybody here who's playing the demo on the demo PCs
Those guys
here in
work
the booth.
so hard.
Yeah.
Like Elizabeth, Wingardium Living Poster, I think it's
Mhm.
pronounced, Foundation, Joel,
Yep.
and Chris Sawyer and Games for Tom. They're working here like every day at the
Yeah.
event, and they start like really early in the morning till 8 p.m. and it's so exhausting. I have so much respect for those guys. Like seriously, that's really
Yep.
amazing.
And you can find them on the forums as well.
Yeah. I think many people of the Planet Coaster community do know them on the forums.
Oh, I love this poplar tree as well. All right, I need to stop gushing about shrubbery and just place stuff. I don't want to have too much ground shrubbery. At some point, I do want to start adding little elements into the enclosure, but for now, yeah, I'm just dressing up a little bit of it, just to make sure that it's finished. So if the building turns out to be really difficult and I have to spend a lot of time on it, at least the rest is already done, so I don't have to fill my mission.
Kina says if you're going for a more realistic look, you might want to move the trees away from the fence. So could
Also
use
a
it
really
to-
good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, or yeah, because they could actually climb on that. They would. Yeah. I'm just gonna have to put the trees on the other side of the fence, mostly, I suppose. And again, I don't know. If I add something over here, it should be all right. Anyway, I'm gonna leave that like that for now, and we'll see if they can use it to escape. And if they can, then so be it. Extra food for the tigers, but I might look into that later. For now, though, we're on such a limited time schedule. I do want to try and get as much done as possible. So,
Well, you're doing
sorry.
great. You still have an hour, so.
Oh yeah, but there's still a lot to do as well.
Oh, definitely. I'm
so
really
yeah.
curious how you're gonna make the shelter or like a cave. How are you gonna do it?
So am I, honestly. I have no idea. This might end up really bad. Ooh. I don't know if bulrush reeds also appear in the region where the tigers live, but I like these a lot, so I'm just gonna place down.
For me, it's gonna be really good that you have those selection tools. Like, okay, I want this biome and this biome because that's gonna make it so much easier for me.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, same for me as well. I don't know. I barely know any of the foliage options that they've given us. There's just so much
I'm
in
so
here.
disappointed in you, so.
I'm not too much of a gardening expert. I might need to have a consultation session with N7 about this.
Ooh, sounds good.
And also, yeah, I like that we have here the Japanese maple. Could build a Japanese garden with that, and also just lots of autumn trees. So if you want to build a park
they put
set
that
in autumn
again?
as well.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing. A Japanese trees?
Yep, we have the Japanese maple, which looks really
so
great.
there's going to be an Asia theme for sure.
Yeah, maybe. I
Oh,
really hope so.
It says the tag was Asia.
Oh.
So if you click it again,
Yeah.
you can see.
Oh, yeah. So, oh, yeah. Oh, our webcam is still there. All right. I was about to move the webcam out of the way so people could see it, but yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Asia. Yeah, right. Oh, so you can actually.
Those are like this sneaky
Yep.
information stuff, the hidden stuff. Well, it's not hidden.
But yeah, there's so much information that it takes a while to get used to exactly where you can find everything. But it's really good that you can find it somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, I want to place a few more reeds on the other side, and then I want to call it a day. Then I want to move over to some of the other stuff.
You might have to do some more terrain coloring.
Yeah, maybe. Probably. The thing is, I'm also waiting for the tigers to actually be in the in the habitat, so I can actually tell
Yeah.
what exactly their needs are.
That's so lovely.
All right.
I like it.
Now, thank you. God. Yeah, there's always so much to do. You're right. I want to see what I can do with this building. I'm not entirely sure how well it's going to work out.
I believe you can drag them up to make them higher. I think that's about the fences, yeah. In this build, you can't raise the fences, but there are like, I don't know, 30, 40 computers in the back, and we've played on those too, and there you have way more options for the fencing, and it's really good. So if you want to see how that works, you can check out Rudi and Rennkamel. He made a live stream video with us on the floor, and we show you everything that you can do with the fences. It's really, really beautiful. So definitely check that out if you want to see how those fences really work, because we can't show it off on the streaming build.
Yep. Yeah, if I had the opportunity to, I would have just raised these fences, made them tall enough for the tigers not to be able to climb over them using the trees, but yeah, that's something that I don't think I'll be able to look into with this build. So this is going to be really difficult because it will be kind of a stepwise building, but I hope, yeah, that should.
Make a temple.
Yeah, it'll be like a temple kind of building. Yeah, my inspiration is this zoo in Belgium. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Paradise. I've heard
about it, but I haven't been there.
I heard some of the people from your Discord actually wanted to go there at some point.
Yeah, we're gonna want to do a meeting there.
Yeah, actually I really want to go there as well.
You're going, right?
Yeah. Hopefully, if all goes well. My parents will be taking me there. I have some personal drivers. But yeah, it's a really cool zoo. What I like about it is, well, generally it's not really known as one of the best zoos, because the focus isn't just on the animals. Like, it's really, they want to focus on the nature, the fauna, and the culture of different parts of the world. So in the Chinese, in the Chinese themed area, for instance, the animals are located in Chinese gardens, and they'll have all kinds of Chinese temples around it as well. There's some really beautiful buildings and landscapes in that park.
With ivy on the walls, so
that's something that
more natural.
Yeah, that's something that I definitely want to try. Yeah, so something like the Hanging Gardens, just because my idea was basically, I've never actually done anything like it.
Someone says, I've seen a streamer raise the fence by raising the fence pillar before placing the fence segment down.
Oh.
So that might be a workaround if that works on streaming.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Let me try that later then, yeah.
Where are you guys streaming from? From the Gamescom booth in Cologne?
Yep. I don't know what this one's doing. This one's sticking through somehow.
Feels like playing a coaster.
They're not
You might be
glitching,
able
though,
to separate them from the building and just move them a little
yeah.
bit.
Oh well, I'm not going to get too hung up on the details here, honestly.
I wouldn't do that. Just hide it with the vines.
Yep.
Or the ivy.
Yeah, and some foliage. Because, yeah, the idea for this was also really... Oh yeah, right, I have snapping turned on. I'm not used to that position snap. I'm just going to turn that off. The idea for this build in general was we don't have too many pieces, and I want to build something that is from the region that these animals are from, like Paradise does. And now this isn't entirely on point because the Hanging Gardens of Babylon are actually in Iraq, or at least modern day Iraq. But I think it's a theme that's easily doable with the pieces that we have in game. Plus, the foliage in the game is absolutely amazing, and those hanging gardens are beautiful because there's foliage overhanging them everywhere. So it would be a good reason to check out all the different foliage elements and see how they work together with the building parts.
Oh, definitely. That will be things I really, really want to do. Like, take my time, just look at every little piece.
Yeah.
Oh God, because I'm just so amazed, like how many things and options are already in this alpha build. Like,
yeah, it is honestly insane. So yeah, I think this definitely makes sense. And then I'll build another pillar in like that, and go back to the pillar section. I'm already starting to get used to these pieces.
So please don't put the hanging gardens there. The train safari can't see anything really if you do that.
I think.
Train safari.
Yeah. I think it would actually be cool to have like a glass wall at the back of this. So from the train you would be able to look into the exhibit.
One-sided.
Yeah. One-sided for sure, and
Yeah.
just some here and there. I think that might honestly be cool, and I think it would also just be cool for the train to go through the building. You see that kind of thing a lot in Disney parks, where you've got these trains going around the park, and they go through all the different attraction buildings. But yeah, we had some different ideas, also Rudi and I, about what pieces you could start combining. Alright, Rennkamel just passed by and he gestured something at Lady. I have no idea what's going on here exactly, but we'll see what comes out of that. Where were those planters again? I would actually really like to look into those. Centerpieces, that's it, isn't it?
No, I'm just here to steal water.
Oh, you just here to steal water. That makes
Hi
sense.
everybody, I'm just stealing water.
That's Rennkamel stealing our supply of drinking water.
Yeah,
that bastard.
I'm just stealing water. It's
This
fine.
is the only water with a refrigerator, so we're kind of lucky
Yeah.
in that sense.
Yeah, we're all kind of dying from the heat right here.
Will there be,
So-
I saw someone asking, will there be another Planet Zoo meeting? Oh, definitely. We had 3 right now. We haven't planned the next one, but yeah, definitely hope to do another one soon. But I was afraid to schedule a new data because of the Planet Zoo beta, because we didn't know what date it would come, and I was like, oh my god, if it's like releasing right before the Planet Zoo meetup, I'm like, no, I'm not going to the meetup anyways. I want to play Planet Zoo. So now we know the date, so we might schedule a new one somewhere next week. Hopefully you can join us at some point. That would be really cool.
That would be great. I mean, if you guys are going to Paradise, that would be a much more doable thing for me, since I live
Yeah,
not
but that's
too far
like
from there.
more thing we have to schedule ahead because it's like pretty far away. People need
Yeah,
to
right.
stay because it's like 3-hour drive or anything. So
Yeah.
it's not something you do in a day.
No, that is true.
You live in Belgium, so you're lucky.
Yep. Well, usually, yeah, but then for most of the meetups, I'll be way far away.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Oh, you're too close. All right. We can look into that later. And then I'll fill in some of these with walls, and some of them I won't. I'm still not entirely sure what I'm going to do with this. All right, 45 minutes left.
You still have time, no worries.
Yeah. It would be cool to have like a sort of marble staircase here, and I see we don't have pieces for that, but I'm just going to be cheeky and use this piece for it. And then we can place some walls around it. I think that should work out all right. Okay, lower a piece into the ground so that the whole section becomes easily selectable. Yeah, that's normally what I do if I want to copy stuff around on a grid. That's actually why you saw me placing those walls underneath the ground. Normally I would go and remove those after the fact, but I'm just going to be a lazy bum here who's cutting all of the corners. But yeah, I think so. Everything in regards to the building works the same as Planet Coasters, so if you're... Wait, what did I do wrong there? So if you're used to those, then you should be fine, I think.
Oh, can you build a waterfall in there? Well, we saw some kind of piece that looks like it's
Yeah.
supposed to be a part of a waterfall, I think. But it was really weird. I really can't figure out like how that would work. So we don't really have items in this build to really create a waterfall, but there should be a way.
Yeah.
Did anyone try to create just like, you know, back in the days with Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, how you could make waterfalls? Like just have a water high up, water high on the
Yeah, I
ground?
don't think that works. I'm
But
pretty
wouldn't that-
sure that's...
I don't know, but like there are many things that surprises me in this build.
Yeah, that's also true, isn't it? I highly doubt it. I think even in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 there was something that you had to set up quite well, and I don't think you can set that kind of thing up in this game.
No.
Just gonna add to
Would
add
be
this
really
plank.
cool.
Oops.
It's fluid water kind of ish, right?
Yeah, sort of. It's volumetric, as they say, right?
So wouldn't volumetric just flow down?
No, that's
I want it just to
dynamic,
I want
I
it to
think.
do so. Like seriously, I would love to see that.
If I have any time left over after this, I could look into it.
I
But
could
for now,
try
let's
to if
just
you
wanna-
don't have time.
Oh.
It's the last streaming day. Like everyone is doing for the
Oh yeah,
last time.
you're still streaming as well, right?
Yeah.
Later today. Was it from 4 to 5?
Well, I tried to go online and then my Dutch channel at 4:15 if everything goes right,
Right.
with Rennkamel's computer.
Mm-hmm.
And after that at I will be streaming English
Yeah.
on my own channel,
Yeah.
the DeLadysigner channel.
Yeah, no, good point. So actually, just to come back to one of the comments here, I'm doing all of this on the assumption that the animals will be able to climb this, and that the
Pretty
tigers
sure they
will be
will.
able to climb these stairs or the log into the building, which I'm pretty sure they will, yeah. And this will just be their shelter, basically. It's a bit much, isn't it? But I just wanted to experiment with
You just try to
something
make it
like
a bit
this.
more green with some...
Yeah, I'll add the foliage after the entire building is done, I think, and then it should be looking fine, I think. So I'm just gonna copy one of these over and start building.
You can walk off on that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will. I heard some streamer made like a river with like some logs going from one side to the other as in a bridge. He was like, would they be able to use it? And they did use it as a bridge. So that's really cool. So I'm pretty sure they will be able to use this too. They can also build on walls, they can build on roofs, depending on what kind of animal it is, of course. But yeah, you can do a lot. Like, the animals will be able to use everything if the animal is supposed to do it.
Exactly. So we also played around with these trims a bit, and they're really cool because you can really add a lot of variation. You can basically just build them into each other the way that you want yourself, and there's really a lot of things that you could do with this. Actually, I want that to look a bit different. So yeah, I like it. Instead of adding a single cornice piece, they've just added a bunch of different scenery pieces that you can build into each other, just like that. It's really cool. And then we have this piece, which is actually not on the grid, and you can just rotate and move that yourself in whatever way you want. So I'm just going to place that over here, put it on the outside, so that's going to be what the pillars are resting on, and that's how you build a classical architrave like this. So actually, I think that's super cool. And yeah, this is the most ridiculously luxurious for humans kind of built building for a shelter ever. I know I'm kind of going over the top with this, but I'm just trying to test out the building elements and building pieces at the same time while building a shelter and building some kind of a cool setting for this entire habitat.
I like your ears, lady. Thank you. Thank you. I want to bring them home.
Now, realistically, you want to have some kind of mulch-looking element on top here, right? But we don't really have anything that looks like mulch, I suppose, here. So
make a bamboo. Make bamboo come out of the roof, Silverrat, says Captain. Do we have bamboo?
Ooh, yeah, we do actually, and the bamboo looks really great in this game. I really like it. Also, this interior with wooden floors makes no sense, but I'm just gonna cheat on that a little bit. I'm sorry, people. So yeah, and then the final floor, I'm just gonna copy this over, I think, and then build the final floor slightly lower. We're gonna get some forced perspective in here, guys. Shout out to Disneyland. Yeah, because this is way too big, but something like this should probably work. And yeah, remove this on the back, and actually remove this whole section of the building. Yeah, we can get rid of basically all of that, and move this wall back. So that's pretty easily doable. This is all just Planet Coaster stuff when it comes to building. The real difference is that the animals should be able to interact with all of this. Let's move these over, and finally let's get this pillar and stuff over to the other side as well. I'm going to try to copy this all at once, see if that works. Hopefully I got all of it. Oh, right, there are some wall pieces in there. Oh, looks like I missed just a few pieces. Oh no, just one. Alright, we're good then. And let's have that in there. And actually then there's one thing I forgot, but I'll get to that in a second. I still need some different covers as well. Let's sink these into the roof of this. Oh god, that looks a bit weird, doesn't it? I'm gonna move this roof down a bit. And finally, if all goes well, I can probably move down the top parts of this whole structure a little bit to make it lower than the bottom. Actually, I think that's close to being good already. I'm just gonna select all of this and move it down. Yeah, so it could even be a little bit lower than that. Yeah, something like that maybe. I think that looks good. And really, I know it looks
great.
good.
You did that really quick, by the way.
Yeah, it's pretty much just the Planet Coaster tools. Like, I think if you're used to Planet Coaster, it'll all be quite intuitive.
Are you missing an edge on the top floor?
Yeah, I'll get to that.
We still have 40 minutes. You're doing great.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. Okay. There's a bit of sea fighting here, so I'm going to move that down a bit. And just copy it over to the other side. But yeah, this is definitely not supposed to be the final look of the building in general. It should really be made by the foliage that will overhang on all of these walls. And apparently, if I can be so bold and share some weird facts about life in general, the real Hanging Gardens of Babylon were supposed to be one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, just like the pyramids and all kinds of temples by the Greeks, etc. But it's the only one that people aren't sure it exists because there's no record of it.
Oh, really?
But apparently the idea was that there was this one king and his wife was from a hilly tropical area. The Hanging Babylon was in what is currently Iraq. So not quite that hilly and tropical. So the Hanging Gardens were created to make this sort of hilly-looking landscape that reminded the king's wife of these hilly tropical landscapes that she saw in the place where she was from. So it's really cool. It's a huge building, but it was supposed to look very natural and organic, which we'll get with some of the foliage, I suppose. There's still one thing that actually I do want to look into. I do want to build some balustrades on this. So if I recall where that was, it was on decorations like this, and then somewhere, yeah, like this. Yeah, that will probably look quite a bit better.
This is going to be awesome, especially when you add the green. It's going to be really cool. Are you going to add like the bedding inside of the temple? I
think so.
That would be
I hope that the tigers will be able to climb into this. Otherwise, I might change the front of this because at the end of the day, this is originally a building meant for humans, and we're trying to make it into an animal shelter. But yeah, something like that would be cool. Yeah, I really hope so. But in the tiger, we want to see the tiger. Oh, very good
people really love it.
points.
This is looking gorgeous. It's almost.
Yeah, I could actually probably already open the enclosure and put the tiger in here, and just keep building while the tiger's already here. So before I do that, I should probably add a habitat gate somewhere. I guess over here. Okay, it's a bit glitchy over there, so I'm just gonna.
Stay on the back.
Yeah, I think this is decently hidden, hopefully.
Definitely.
And move this tree out of the way a bit. Okay, tree doesn't want to be moved actually. All right, alpha gameplay, something to keep in mind. But yeah, so this should actually work. Now it's time to add all of the stuff that they need. So let's reset filters and filter by species. Is the Bengal tiger? There we go. And now we want to see where we want to place stuff. I think it would make sense to add the water somewhere on the front here. And yeah, I'm just adding a bunch of stuff. Don't want to add too many toys, of course, because they don't want to get bored of the toys that they have. We do want to switch stuff up as time goes along. And a food tray. I guess I'll actually add 2 of those at different points in the habitat. And yeah, it automatically changes the terrain as well, which is really handy. I think that'll do. Let's. Alright, I completely forgot how this worked exactly, but I should have the Bengal tiger somewhere in here, and then we can send to zoo, put it in the habitat. Here we go.
Should be good.
Alright.
Is it a male or female? I didn't see it.
I actually forgot to check as well. Yeah, I'm really excited to see how the tiger is going to interact with the whole structure. It would be so cool to like build enclosures in general and build all kinds of structures and see what the animals do with it.
I think we can go seriously nuts with everything.
Atharv is a male. Now, I don't know if Bengal tigers should be together with a female in a habitat or different males.
Of
or
course,
whatever.
you want babies.
That's true. But sometimes.
Oh, no, that's a male too.
Well, you never know. Could always add a different one. But yeah, I'm just gonna start with one Bengal tiger and see how Atharv
We
likes.
can already came in.
Oh yeah. But where is Atharv?
It's there, I think. Yeah, at the tree. Yeah.
Oh
it's
yeah,
in-
there you go. I'm very afraid that the tiger will be able to escape the enclosure, but hopefully they won't. Okay, so the terrain distribution is... They're all brown, so it doesn't matter? Is that what that means? Because I've always wondered
I don't know
about
what brown
that.
means, but I do see that the white blocks, what it should be, is missing.
Yeah. Yeah, so I
So,
think,
I
because I've seen the brown ones before, and it's never really been explained
Maybe
to
you
one, but
have to wait.
yeah. Some
Maybe
guys
you have
were...
to wait, and then it will
yeah,
turn.
yeah. But yeah, it kind of looks like there are no
Oh,
specific
I'm
needs.
so pissed right now. Like, seriously.
Yeah, some guys are doing really
They're
weird
really
stuff out
annoying.
here. Oh wow, and it tells you all of the foliage that it has inside
Can you click
the
it from
habitat.
there? Does that work?
Uh,
'Cause that would be
really.
awesome.
No, I don't think so. But it shows you
Oh.
all of the different foliage that you have.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that is really awesome. Wow.
We want baby tigers.
Alright.
See, I'm not the only one that wants that.
All right, I'll keep checking what we have. I'm actually gonna have to check the alerts.
The rest from the whole zoo is like
I'm sending
dying,
a vet
but
to inspect them. Call a vet. All right. Let's get this over with. Yeah, most of the notifications should probably be the lemurs. But what happened here? I can't click on them. Where's Finn? Did one of the ostriches die?
what?
Perhaps one of the ostriches passed away in the meantime, because I don't see Finn anywhere in here.
Finn, did you?
Oh, the searching tab doesn't seem to work yet. But no, I
But you can
I
also
tried-
select them in species if you want.
Oh yeah, good point.
Oh,
So-
I saw Finn. I saw him. Or her. I don't know what it is.
Oh, it's
There it is.
in the trade center. Wait, why?
I don't
Whatever. Anyhow.
Yeah, I
they're just-
definitely
they're
need bodyguard
looking after
bow
the-
again.
But yeah, most of these escaped animals are just the lemurs, because the game thinks that they are escaping, but trust me, there is no way of getting out of their exhibit. So they're definitely still in there. Now where's our tiger hanging out? Oh, just chilling over
Yeah,
there.
the question is if he will be. Did you put like the bedding already? No.
Oh
right?
no, good point. That's I forgot. That's something I definitely need to do.
'Cause that would be a reason for him to maybe go up.
Yeah, there is the bedding again. Okay, I'm just gonna. Oh yeah, there we go.
Oh, there you go.
Habitat bedding. Yeah. Wow, the habitat bedding actually snaps to the building,
Yeah, I see.
and is actually part of the building now. That's cool. Alright, I'm just gonna add a whole heap of bedding here. What are they doing?
I don't know. Giveaways again.
Alright. Make it rain and see if he goes in there. That's an interesting point. We can try that. But I think Atharv is already going in there. And I really wonder what the social status is like. Okay, no, never mind. Not yet. And Atharv could also simply be looking... Oh god, I'm still in
Sorry,
fast forward mode, I think.
Yeah. No, it should be
Oh
good.
no, I'm not. Yeah, we're good now. You can actually see the water
Oh, yeah,
dripping
it's
off
crazy,
of
right?
Yeah, that's insane.
Also, his fur gets
Right.
wet during the rain.
Nutrition. Okay, we need more food and we need more enrichment. Clearly. Oh, we need food enrichment. Makes sense.
Combination
I
too.
think I forgot about that.
See if it goes in there. That's a good one, by the way. I didn't notice that
Yeah.
you did it for that.
Yeah, I really want to see what they're gonna do. Food enrichment. I think the frozen blood pumpkin should be good.
Maybe if you put it on top.
Oh yeah, put it in here and
Yeah.
yeah. This is the frozen. Okay, no, that's not it. I have no idea what that little thing was.
That's where the.
Oh, where the pumpkin comes out.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes sense. Where they're gonna place them. Alright, so
I
right
guess.
in there.
Wait. That's,
Yeah, that is the piece that they're
but
gonna
you
place.
can't put it on there then. It turns.
I think that's just a glitch,
Confused,
where
yeah.
because when they're done eating, you only see this little pedestal. That's Joel again. So yeah, I think it just doesn't fill it automatically anymore. Oh well, whatever. Should be good now.
So where is the tiger now?
I think the tiger
He's
is.
trying to hide underneath the tree.
Yeah, I think so.
God, looks so good with the rain.
All right.
My goodness.
Let's see where. Guest thoughts. Now, where is the Bengal tiger? I'm thinking the same. Oh, there they are.
Oh, it's eating.
Eating.
It doesn't care about the rain.
Yep.
Well, I remember in Zoo Tycoon 2 that they swim, so.
Right. Yeah, I think in real life they definitely do swim as well, which is why I added some water in the habitat as well. I'm not entirely sure if they really need it according to the game, but I've added it anyway. I do want to change the weather again because I want to play without rain. But yeah, let's keep building because it's not entirely finished yet. I still need to add all of that foliage over it, and also do something to cover up the railroad at the back here. Yeah, let's see what other pieces do I want to add. Oh, there are so many really good planters and things like that in here. Yeah, I would like to add some planters and things like that on top of these fences. So I want to go back to this fence piece. It's extremely hot, isn't it? Are they saying anything else in chat that I really need to
That the
talk
tigers
about?
look really beautiful and that he was eating meat.
Alright.
More rocks and foliage.
Yep, we'll get to that,
And yours came into the chat.
Hey Yoris, I'm sorry I missed you yesterday.
Oh, you
I
did?
think, yeah, I missed it by just a sliver of time. Just when I
That's so
entered
good.
Gamescom, he sent me a message saying we're leaving now.
Oh yeah, that's right, you told me.
I'm gonna have to play something underneath that, but I think that'll work. What do the other ones look like? Oh, that's this one. Yeah, that looks quite good. And then, ooh, no, that doesn't look quite as good. I'm gonna try with a
Good.
pillar piece. A pillar piece.
Why is the game so laggy? Because those guys put down like thousands of pieces already in just an alpha build, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I do notice that it's only laggy when I have the game on play, which is why I actually have it on pause for quite a bit of quite a bit of the time that I'm playing. Oh no. So yeah, plus this is a really big park with 3,000 people in it. I don't think parks in Planet Coaster, like they generally started lagging around that time as well. And then then there's the fact that we've added a lot into this, and it's an alpha build. So
it's really an early stage build, so
Yeah.
this sure isn't what we were expecting.
Oh, I should
Way
actually
better.
already add some plants in there before I forget about that. Let's see what we can add in here. I do like that the planters are empty too, so you can really add whatever you want to add in there.
Yeah, that's really cool. Did you check if you have another Bengal tiger?
Oh, no, good point.
It is on pause, so I'm not really sure if something has changed. But
Yeah, that's
Try to
a
see.
really good point. I should look into that. I'm just going to reset the filters for a bit because I want to find some kind of flower to put in here.
is there any animals today? We haven't seen the rest of the days. No, this is the same build
Yep.
as they started streaming with on Tuesday, I think. The first ones were on Tuesday, so it's the same build. No
Yeah.
other animals or anything added.
I think we've basically seen everything that's in the game right now.
Yeah. Regarding animals, for sure.
Yep. Alright.
So beautiful.
There we go. Something like that. I'm just gonna place these everywhere, real simple. Although I might remove some of the planters on the side. I definitely do want the sides of the building to look a bit different. And then what we'll do with the top, I honestly have no idea, but I think I saw a pediment, which is like the triangular structure on front of these pillar sections over here. Yeah, so I want to build that. How did you guys build that? We have here limestone temple for me to. Unfortunately, it's in a different building.
Yeah,
so
you can just get it out of the building, right?
Oh,
Separate from building.
yeah, you're right.
If that option is also in this.
Oh well. I'm just gonna look for temple here, and there we go. Here are the temple pieces. Oh, I've actually been making things a lot more complicated for them. They do have a temple bit piece,
Oh,
but
seriously?
I like that you can. I like that you can add a lot of that yourself as well. How do you behave on the grid? Yeah, you're gonna have to move that a bit. And then what I really like about this as well is that these have no relief on them, but you can add yourself what you want to add to it. So I'm actually gonna copy these over. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do that yet because I want to have. Are they called relief? Yeah, there we go. They do have all kinds of different relief pieces that you can put in the middle of this.
Can we build an enclosure inside another enclosure?
I'm pretty sure you can. Yeah, I've definitely seen it. Oh, this is a lion head.
Yeah, I think so too.
This would have been really cool if this were the lion
That was
habitat.
I love that.
Oh well. I'll just build something of a weird quick relief out here. Actually, that's a bit weird, isn't it? What did they put on the relief?
Synchron says, honestly, I'm 10 times more interested in the animals and their interaction and behaviors than building from math. But no one wants to just sit and watch the animals do things. Well, that's not true because they are the first ones today that really start building.
Yep,
The rest of the whole streams were like a lot of people just checking out the game. So that's not really true. There are a lot of streams out there that just check out the animals, just check out the items and stuff. So.
Yeah. So actually, I think I took the wrong piece because they also have a smaller one. Yeah, I like that a bit more. So if that is correct, then they probably also have different sizes for this. Oh yeah, they do. All right. Anyway, I just wanted to add a small one like so. I think that looks a bit better.
So does that mean you could build a wall around the entire park and have free roaming PFAS? You could do that, but that also means like the whole park will be the enclosure of the PFAS, so you will have to make sure that everything, like the whole terrain will be as they want it to be. You will have to make sure that everywhere is food for them. Like it's not really easy, I think, so you better get the invisible fences in at some point.
Yeah.
But still, that won't hold them, so they have to be there. No, I don't. You can do it, but I think it's gonna be hard.
Yeah. All right, I think it's about time to add some foliage into this thing because it really needs it.
Yeah. You need some
all right.
green stuff.
So I'm actually going to stay in the building. So hopefully all of the foliage that
Are the poofers in the game already?
Are they?
Yeah. Those are the poo suckers, right?
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, they are. I've seen them.
Yeah, poo is definitely one of the things that Frontier seems to have invested in most. the poo is there are so many gameplay elements related to that, and it's beautifully animated. It rolls off the hill.
Yeah.
It interacts with weather. It's amazing. Ooh. I think I'm just gonna add a bunch of this bracken as sort of underlayer, so you don't really see all of that wood anymore.
Yeah, like just like a grass.
Yeah, we don't really have a grass piece, I think. So I'm just gonna do it this way. And same on the top floor. Oh fuck, sorry, PG-13. That's my one F-bomb that I get in a 2-hour stream. It's just like a PG-13 movie. That's gonna be my excuse. Anyway, yeah, 20 minutes is
20?
quite.
Is it 20?
Yeah.
Yep, 21.
So that's a bit tight.
There is one right after you?
I'm not sure.
Not sure either.
And let's actually add some around the building as well. Ooh, I still need to fix that staircase.
It really depends if Rennkamel will be sent here or so Rennkamel will be sent to that one. I think he will start at that one, and then I'll be streaming about it too.
Right.
And then Baso is half an hour behind.
So I want to add rainforest and temperate biomes. I don't need
I'm
this.
never ready, Jennifer. I'm never ready for my stream. But luckily I have these lovely guys joining me all the time. I really like that. I really enjoy that.
Oh god, foliage just always makes buildings look so much nicer. Just, I've said it too many times, but whenever you're working on a building and you're not entirely sure if you like it, or just the landscape in general, just keep at it, and once you add the trees around it, it'll make a world of a difference.
Definitely. It is really hot in here indeed, Steph.
Yep. Oh yeah, the
I
bamboo.
think it's
I wanted to
definitely
try
around
that.
33 34 degrees, something like that.
Oh, it's Rudi.
There's a camel incoming.
Let's see. Yeah, interesting little tidbit. Something that I've seen a lot of communes in Brussels do recently is give people free. Yeah, it's insane, isn't it? But yeah, a lot of communes in Brussels have recently started giving people free foliage to put around their buildings. Then people have to install it themselves, but the commune will give it to them, just to make the city much more livable and beautiful. And it's a really cool program. Do we have some slightly smaller bamboo? Because this is really big. Let's search. Oh yeah, there we go, the fountain bamboo. I think that'll be much better. Some of these are clipping into each other. I know I'm breaking all of the foliage rules ever by putting stuff on top of my ground shrubbery. Never do this if you're watching. You must be much more gentle in placing down foliage, but I'm just trying to figure out how I want to do things here. Gotta do it quite quickly. And yeah, I live in Brussels. I know Saint-Gilles started doing it recently, I think, and now Etterbeek is doing it as well. Not entirely sure, but it's something that I've seen happen, and it's really cool. And I think the Belgian architecture really lends itself to it as well.
So if this is right, then I will be streaming on this build. That will be great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Rennkamel is coming here, and then we'll be fine.
Is he taking over
Right.
then? By the way, so
probably.
may I say that this looks absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
This looks freaking insane. This park is like now able to be the proper showcase park again.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why Rennkamel should use it too.
Yeah.
So we can show it to his streamers too.
They should just carry this computer like running with them.
Yeah.
And in the office they
Yep.
can save it.
Launch trailer, boom.
Yeah.
And I love many of the new palm trees. And I haven't even added the vines yet. We need to add the real, hanging gardens of Babylon vines, of course.
True. Actually, you don't have any much more notifications, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't. Well, actually, that's because I've been playing on pause mode for quite a bit because I wanted to avoid.
Credit him alone.
Yeah, I wanted to avoid
No,
falling
okay.
into catastrophe while I was building stuff. Yeah, let's have that a bit closer down here. Have it just in front of this. And yeah, I think that's. Oh, I love these vines. These vines are really great.
Yeah.
Right. Let's have some variation in terms of what vines we're using here.
It's insane.
It's
Yeah, it is no bueno. Yes, I love those tall hanging ones.
that's the one.
There is so much variation you can have with these vine textures as well, like much more than you could in Planet Coaster.
Really.
I'm just taking some good footage of here for the vlog. Actually, it's not a vlog. It's going to be a cinematic of the Gamescom.
Oh, it's so good. I love the vines.
Yeah, the vines are really good.
They're gorgeous.
Even though they're still 2D, which I totally get, because this is one of those pieces where you don't want to fry your game with it. But these just look really good. The texture is so nice. I want you to snap to the top here.
I just want to pop in quickly because there were people claiming a lot in the forums and everywhere that this game is like very limited and offers not that much creativity as Planet Coaster. I just want to say you need to play that for 10 minutes and you're all going to change your minds. Everyone is going to change their minds. And that's not just because we are kind of here and doing it, it's really insane.
Yeah.
It's really... You don't even need to build a zoo. You can do whatever you want with the game. It's like literally like a toolbox of weather effects and great stuff, and
Exactly. So that's why I think even a lot of people who aren't maybe into zoos as much, especially from the Planet Coaster community, if you want to build, I don't know, botanical gardens. I've seen people bring that up already, or even a city or whatever. I think there might definitely be some possibilities for that. And we haven't even seen anything that'll be in the final game, so that's something to keep in mind as well, though.
It is a tiger habitat.
Yeah.
It's one of the most beautiful ones I've ever seen, to be honest.
still on pause, so we still haven't seen if the tiger will use it.
Yeah, we've watched a little bit of the tiger.
Oh,
going
fun
around.
like, no, I'm just no.
But then you might just want to have like a flat walkway just somewhere, maybe on the sides.
But I just love how you have this little ramp over there to
Yeah,
just
it's
get
really
in.
cool.
It's so good.
I want to have some shrubs that
Who's
could
that limited?
overhang
Well, people
some
on
of
the
this.
forums, and they're like,
The forums are really, I don't know what's going on in the forums.
You
I don't
can
know if
do
you've
way
read through
more
them,
than
but
that.
it's,
I don't think I have. No.
you better not.
Hmm.
I feel like because we're way more than in Planet Coaster, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Let alone the weather and stuff, you can just go so creative
Yeah.
with your rules and like by far more like honestly it might seem like something very redundant and very minor, but the choice of foliage
Yeah,
is just so
and that's
insane.
exactly what I wanted to try with this build here, to see how the foliage looks, how it works, and what you can do with it.
Like let alone this would
we
be very
also
hard
just
to
see
do.
like an apiary where you can walk through. Well, Rudi made an inside habitat. I don't think you showed it right in your stream. I think in the beginning.
Yeah, it,
Maybe
yeah,
you
yeah.
can do it like 1 minute before you end.
Yeah, I'll
So
still
The
show
only
it.
it's not
problem-
an apiary obviously, but it's at least shows you that you can have like a habitat where people can walk
exactly.
Yeah.
I would love to.
through the animals.
Yeah, I would love to tell you that it is online, but somehow YouTube seems to be a bit strange. So it is online and displaying on my phone.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But
yeah.
it's people report that they can't find it. But yeah, well, it's YouTube.
I've had that with my first stream. It's still really difficult to find it. It's a bit weird. Yeah, I don't know exactly what's up with that.
Can I just say that I'm so sad that we are done today, and I would love to continue for another week.
Yeah.
I seriously would also take off that week from work as well.
Yeah. God, I have 12 minutes left. All right, that's quite limited. Get Bo your guardian in and show it. Let's see the reaction. I'm down. Yeah.
Is Bo's already gone?
No, she isn't. No, she isn't. 3:30. So we
3:30.
just catch her after the stream. I told her to wait for us.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
said goodbye to her just
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I did too, but she still should be around.
All right. Yeah. What else do I want to do in here? And we do need to fix up the path at some point as well.
Oh,
But I
You're
think.
gonna love it and never want to
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah, I
Things
would.
that you
Yeah.
watch. Female tiger, yeah, we need one, but we still haven't played the game, so we don't have any new tigers probably to buy or to
Ooh,
trade.
I should
Yeah,
make
we can
more
just
of
try.
these.
But anyways, may I just add that I don't know how you guys did this, but the thing is.
I didn't do anything.
No, I know, but the thing is that even the time limitation didn't take away any of your skills. So this is so good. You should potentially try to build that way more often. That's really great.
Thank you.
But I know you prefer going into.
I think that's a good idea. Dan says please unpause the game for the last 10 minutes so we can
Okay,
see
yeah,
the tiger
sure.
in action.
Yeah,
So you can
very
see
good.
it.
Anyways, Rennkamel.
But I'm just concerned because it's quite laggy, as you can see.
I don't think Bo is nearby right now.
Yeah, it's really laggy now. So that's something to keep in mind. I think I've broken the game.
Maybe
I'm
too much
afraid that
foliage.
Rennkamel that won't
Yeah.
use it.
So
Like, you might
there's
show it
that.
off.
Is it? Maybe if you just close the menu, it should maybe be fine.
I doubt it, to be honest. Yeah, as you can see, the frame rate has really tanked quite a bit. Although it's doable for sure.
It's okay, yeah.
And if you compare it to how I've been playing Planet Coaster for a long time now,
Is
it's
it going up?
not as bad. But there are definitely some spikes.
Is it going up? It's going up.
Oh.
Right in front of the Oh no.
Oh, not yet. We should probably try and see if we can get another tiger in. That would be really cool. Do we have any still in here?
I mean, but
No,
Playco
no.
was never easy on foliage, and you just built like the most. I think if you just move around into another area where there's less foliage,
Yeah,
the frame
yeah.
rate will be better, I guess.
Yeah, let's see how that is. I don't know, it doesn't really matter too much actually, even if I look away from it, or if I look at the end of the map. So maybe the computer's also overheating. That's
Yeah,
something to
that
keep in
could
mind.
also-
It's extremely hot
Yeah.
in this place, and that will probably affect, I don't know exactly how they're dealing with the heat here, how the PC is cooled, but I can definitely see that part of the issue here.
There is no mating graphics or animations in the game.
Wait a second, Bastions was also streaming? How is that even possible?
That's a slot now.
Yeah, but it just got this.
Well,
Exclusive
maybe
from
not.
Games? No.
He left that yesterday. He's not here. Studio. That's not his live stream.
Alright. Yeah, the train going by is really cool. I'm a bit bummed I couldn't do much with the train. I would have ideally had like a glass wall at the back of the train and maybe covered the train a bit, have it go through the building, but yeah, there's only so much you can do in 2 hours of building stuff. What else do we have? Some bramble bushes. Sure, I can work with that.
This game looks really chilly. Chilly as in chill or like...
Yeah, what does that mean exactly? And, yeah, I'm just covering up.
You can make it snow maybe for a bit, so and put down a heater inside of the temple.
Oh yeah, that's a
maybe
really good point.
Then they will use it.
And then the game is truly chilly too.
Oh yeah, then it's really that's why I thought of that. Like, if it's snow, then it's gonna be chilly.
Oh, we have the lady fern again. Nice. Yeah, this is not my best foliage work. Don't pay too much attention to this. I'm just trying to quickly cover up the terraforming. I'm still not entirely sure what we have in the game.
Really amazing.
What else do we have for options here? Where's my monster at?
Okay, so Basil's in that room, so Rennkamel will be in this room.
Yeah.
So you could
But the question is if he wants to go with this friend.
Yeah, if I were him, I would probably be like, all right, that's nice,
Well,
guys.
if he really only wants to focus on building, then he could just pause the game.
True, yeah.
Yeah, but that's...
We might just ask him and he decides.
It is nicer to let it play, right?
I already thought I wouldn't have this build anyway, so I'm good with it.
Yeah. Yeah, we have an overheated computer that's constantly running a demo build of the game. Things like this could definitely happen.
Yeah, it definitely is, because like, remember
Is it
I
just a
started
lemur?
at 10. Yeah.
I think it's just a lemur. I'm just gonna ignore that, honestly.
But it's still not bad, right? The premise
Just
still
6
is
minutes
okay.
left. Let's try putting in some path elements. Oh wait, then we need to go to construction, right?
And I've got snow. And heater.
No,
Oh, yeah.
past elements is like in facilities.
Oh,
Which
good point.
kind of makes sense, to be honest.
Alright, so... Ooh, oh yeah, and the lanterns are separate now, so they're not path elements anymore. So I'm just gonna put these benches kind of in the middle of the path, like so.
Do we know the specs of the computer we are using? I guess this is like a monster. I know that it has the RTX 2080 Ti in.
Yeah, and an
know
i9
an
9900.
Exactly, and 32 gigs of RAM.
Yeah. 32?
Yeah.
That's not too many, actually. You can barely run Chrome with that.
Did the tiger get into the building? No.
I love that.
That's true, right?
I love that. Yeah, it's just so good. You can't. You absolutely know.
Oh, I'm switching for roof. Oh, alright, yeah, then I'm not gonna get much. Yeah, we have that modern
I guess
lamp.
just enjoying its exposure.
Classic lamp. Other classic lamp. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go for this classic lamp.
By the way, could we always? I think we could, but the benches like that, I barely see that in Planko do.
It's possible, but
It is,
people
but
don't do it very often.
Yeah, the thing is, why would you do it right in Planko? But for an exhibit, it totally makes sense this way. I love it. But please just don't put the lamp just in front of the bench.
Oh no, I'm avoiding just the front of the benches.
Because else you have like the modern F1 car situation that you just have like this little
You
flop in
didn't
front.
have these lamps in Planet Coaster, right?
Similar one.
Yeah, but I really wanted like...
Yeah. This one is exactly the same, if I remember correctly.
It's not exactly the same, but it's a similar type of lamp, yeah, for sure. And I think all these lamps are just related to the theme of this map, because they do seem like they try to fit the theme as much
I
as
know
possible.
we have seen so many more already in the trailers, right? So we know that there must be more.
Yeah.
And the people also make pigs instead of just standing and watching the animals. They do. But
They
that's
do,
like
they-
in Planet Coaster, you also have people that make pictures. So yeah.
I would love to see at some point like a picture station, you know, where you can print out or whatever. So in the
I hope they
Ooh,
just
what are you
bring,
doing
like,
there?
big cameras
Yeah.
instead of like only with their phones.
oh yeah, like these alarms, right? Oh, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
And just imagine you could do it like in Jurassic World Evolution capture mode, that you just go and take the, you know, just take a photo of it.
Wait, what kind of path?
I
should
mean,
this be?
maybe this is
Oh,
even like
there.
a part of the management. Like, take 2 photos of your lemurs.
Yeah.
I don't know, I can't find them. Okay, whatever.
Let's change that. And
I think it'd just not be able, I think it would have slept already, so
ooh.
I don't know, it's maybe just in there.
it's not on pause.
But I wonder why it wouldn't take it, because it's not steep or whatever.
Yeah, right.
I mean, else you could just do a little bit of terraforming, but
Alright, so I'm just gonna put down a quick few trees, but the area around the enclosure is definitely very unfinished.
Someone asked a good one. Would you guys have loved to see Planet 2 as a DLC for Planet Coaster?
No.
No.
No, because then we would have really missed out, I think, on the graphics and the weather updates and everything.
And management.
So-
And you would only have like animals and probably some
Exactly.
fences.
I mean, you see so much has changed that it basically really is, from its core, a different game. It just
Yeah.
looks similar, but there is so much more about this game. Like let alone that the water's volumetric, then you have all the terrain painting now with a purpose. It's not just painting terrain, they have a purpose, so it's in the system.
Yeah.
Yeah, the weather is affecting everything. As you have seen in the streams, that is like how good the weather is. It's just insane.
Yep.
Sylph, did you see that Sylph spotted that in the habitat I made, that the snow is even more on pieces the more they tilt up? Like that means, for example,
Is it so? I
if
didn't
your
see
roof
that.
is like that, there's more snow on than like that, but it's like really good.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and it even falls down on the ridges of the
Yeah.
bricks,
details.
of the brick walls, which is really cool. I love the elms. There's too many trees to keep track of what exactly we have and what I want to place. Anyway, let's put some random breaches down. Actually, I don't know if that'll look good. I'm just gonna keep it like that. The whole surrounding is a bit unfinished. Anyway, let's quickly look into the enclosure and see how the tiger's doing in their habitat. Where are they at?
Maybe you have a female one now, but
Oh yeah, good point. But it is interesting that they're not going inside the building yet.
I would really like to see
Let
if
it rain.
goes-
Just
if
let it
snows,
rain.
no,
Just-
if it
They were
snows,
actually, they
then
completely
there's-
ignored the rain. They were just
Okay,
Yeah.
then
eating and they just kept going.
and snow.
And snow. Oh yeah, let's try snow one last time. Yeah, we don't have any in the trading here. All right, let's make it snow. Let's get into Tegged Camp for somebody here. That would be cool to check out. See how what it looks like from a guest perspective.
You just need to go a staff member, I guess.
Yeah. Where can we find that again?
Oh, just click on. Oh, maybe just click on one guest. Maybe that works as well.
No, it definitely doesn't work on guests. I've already tried.
Okay,
it.
there's one. There's a janitor.
Oh yeah.
Caretaker, I should say.
You are now going to be called Tegged Camp. I'm sorry, sir.
Oh, this looks so good. Just love it when it snows.
All right.
Did you put in the heaters?
I actually didn't. I'm gonna do that in the meantime. Oh wow, it looks really cool with the snow cover.
No, it looks amazing.
The way that it falls on all of the foliage is
Look
insane.
at the palm trees, like half of them don't have
Yeah.
snow and half.
Oh, actually, the leaves on top. Oh
Yeah.
god, this is incredible.
Yeah, isn't that insane?
That's really insane.
Yeah, let's reset the filters and put a small heater inside here.
Actually, it's already warmer inside because of the bedding and stuff, right? And because the snow is not there. This is cool. So
Yep.
the system actually already notices without having a heater there. That's so good.
Oh, now I lost my Tegged Cam. Where's my Tegged Cam at? Oh, and people get their umbrellas out for this as well. That's really cool.
There is one. There's a keeper. Just.
Oh yeah. All right, sir. I'm sorry, Scotty.
Scotty,
You're now
beam
called
me up.
Tegged Cam. Yeah. Where's my? No, there we go. Oh,
Right in the
We
enclosure.
need to get out of here. Well, we can't because I
Can you
closed it
just
off
go
too well.
To the door.
Can we go through the door as Tegged can? That is a good
I
question.
don't know this.
For frame rate reasons, I am going to pause the game here for a sec.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, we can.
that
All right,
works.
awesome. So there's the enclosure. I'm going to switch to weather settings because I do want to see it in normal conditions as well. And let's have that playing. Yeah, from this angle I think looks quite good. So yeah, that's the lion enclosure here.
No, it's a tiger.
A tiger.
Tiger, yeah.
Why do I keep doing
Yeah,
that?
and it's
God.
fine.
Yep. All right. I don't have too much to do. Oh yeah, and it's 6. Perfect. So we're right on
that's
time
so
for
And
this.
it's 6 a.m. So it's perfect.
6. Oh yeah, God. What time is it? Actually, it's 3. All right.
Yeah, I think you have to wrap it up.
Yep.
Broken wall,
Anyway,
no may escape. Okay.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been amazing. I've had a lot of fun in the stream. 2 hours has been just enough time to actually do something really cool in the game. So I'm really happy about that as well. I was really afraid that it would not be quite enough to build a full enclosure, but yeah, I'm happy with it. And I'd like to thank you guys as well for coming to my stream, being here with me, suffering along with me in this extreme heat. Like, words cannot describe how warm it is in this room right now. My forehead is like sweaty. God. But yeah, it's been amazing. I really love it. And shout out to N7 for always giving the best tutorials and footage in Planet Coaster. Without him, I don't think I would have been able to do this. And after this, I think Rennkamel is going to stream in here. He's already complaining right in front of us on Twitch. So yeah, you can follow him over there as well. That's RENDHAMMER. And yeah, wow, that went well actually.
Yeah.
You dropped the beat, man.
Yeah.
He might continue to park. We don't know.
Yeah, he might, but I don't know if he wants to get this leggy mess.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you guys all have a good day, and I'll see you sometime in the future. I have no idea exactly when, but this has been my last stream from Gamescom. You'll also be able to see DeLadysigner still. Actually, she'll be streaming in Dutch, I believe, and I might drop by there if you want to see me speak Dutch. Exactly. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody.